Hey everyone, this is Miss Grace. I am going to go over homework number 12. Just a couple key reminders when we have inequalities that have the line underneath them that is a closed circle. And then when we have inequalities that do not have the line underneath them, we have an open circle. With absolute value inequalities, or anytime we have absolute value, we have two solutions. So when we are dealing with absolute value, we want to first make sure that the absolute value is isolated. Which right now it is. We then will take the inside and we set equal to a positive. Then we set it equal to a negative. When we set it equal to a negative, this is where we have to flip our inequality. So for example, number one, absolute value is isolated, there's nothing around it. So I'm going to take what's on the inside, I'm going to set it equal to the positive 5, then I'm going to set it equal to a negative 5, and when I set it equal to a negative 5, I switch my inequality. Here I have closed circles, so I'm going to put a closed circle at the negative 5 and the positive 5. Negative 5, or I guess positive 5 is less than, negative 5 is greater than, so this one I am shading in between. Looking at number 2, isolate my absolute value, which it is. There's nothing around it. I'm setting the inside. I'm pulling out what's on the inside, setting it equal to positive 1. Pulling out what's on the inside, setting it equal to negative 1. And when I set it equal to negative 1, I have to flip the inequality. These are open circles. So open circle at 1, open circle at negative 1. Looking at the 1, I have all of the numbers that are greater than 1 to the right. Looking at negative 1, all the numbers that are less than negative 1 to the left. Looking at number 3. So absolute value right now is not isolated for number 3. I need to get rid of that 8. In order to get rid of the 8, I need to divide. So I'm left with my absolute value, x minus 5, is less than 6. Now that my absolute value is isolated, I'm going to take what's on the inside, x minus 5, set it equal to the positive 6. Take what's on the inside, x minus 5, set it equal to negative 6. When I set it equal to the negative 6, instead of it saying less than, I'm now going to have it say greater than. From here, I'm just going to add my 5. So I'll have x is less than 11, then I'll have x is greater than negative 1. Both of these are open circles, so at 11, put an open circle. At -1, put an open circle. Looking at my 11, x is less than 11, it goes in this direction. Looking at my -1, x is greater than -1, goes in this direction. So I'm going to shade in between. Looking at number 4. Number 4, my absolute value is isolated. There's nothing around it. So I'm pulling what's on the what's on the inside, putting it equal to +60, pulling what's on the inside, putting it equal to -60. When I put it equal to -60, I am going to flip my sign. So looking at this one, I need to add 4 on both sides. Bring down my 8x, bring down my inequality. 60 plus 4 gives me 64. Then the last step is to divide. So make it x is greater than 8. For to get my other solution, I'm doing the exact same steps. So my first step was I plussed 4. I'm going to plus 4 here. Pulling down my 8x, pulling down my inequality. -60 plus 4 gives me -56. Then I have to divide by 8. So this solution is going to be x is less than -7. These are open circles. My inequality does not have a line underneath it. So at 8, I put an open circle. At -7, I'm going to put an open circle. Looking at my 8, I want numbers that are greater than 8. So it's shading to the right. The -7, I want all of the numbers that are less than -7. That goes to the left. Looking at number 5, my absolute value is not isolated. I have this -3 or -3 on the outside. So I need to get rid of him first. So I'm going to be left with my absolute value of 7x greater than or equal to 56. Looking at the inequality, I know that I have a closed circle. Now my absolute value is isolated, so I'm going to pull out what's on the inside, that's 7x, put him equal to +56. Pull out what's on the inside, that's 7x, put him equal to a -56. When I do that, I have to flip my inequality. What I do for one, I'm going to do for the other. This is just a one step. To get rid of that 7, I have to divide. 56 divided by 7 gives me +8. I divided on this one, so I'm dividing on this one. -56 divided by 7 gives me -8. Closed circles is what I've already said. So at 8, put a closed circle. At -8, put a closed circle. Looking at the 8, I want all of my numbers that are greater than 8. Greater than 8 goes to the right. Looking at my -8, all the numbers that are less than -8. Problem number 6, check to see that the absolute value is isolated, which it is. So I'm pulling out what's on the absolute value, putting it equal to a +6, pulling out what's on the absolute value, putting it equal to negative 6. When I put it equal to the negative, I have to flip my sign. So instead of it saying less than or equal to, I'm going to say greater than or equal to. This is a closed circle. Just like what I've been doing, whatever I do on one, I have to do for the other. So I'm minusing 4. 6 minus 4 gives me 2. Minus 4, negative 6 minus 4 gives me negative 10. Closed circle at 2, closed circle at negative 10. Looking at my 2, I want all of my numbers that are less than 2, which would go in this direction. Looking at my negative 10, I want all of the numbers that are greater than 10. I'm shading in between. The last problem that I'm going to have you guys do together is number 7. Making sure absolute value is isolated, which it is. So I'm pulling out that 9x greater than 54. Pulling out what's on the inside, 9x, putting it equal to negative 54. Right now it's a greater than. When I put it equal to the negative, I have to flip my sign. What I do for one, I have to do for the other. This is a one step to get rid of that 9. I divide. So x is greater than 6. I divided, so I'm going to divide on this one. So x is less than negative 6. These are closed circles. So, or sorry, I should say not closed, open circles. An open circle at 6, open circle at negative 6. Looking at the 6, I want all the numbers that are greater than 6 to the right. Looking at the negative 6, all the numbers that are less than to the left. I would like you to do number 9 on your own. Try it. The absolute value is isolated, and you will have a closed circle. So when you're trying this on your own, you have 2 solutions, just like we have for 1 through 7. We are not doing number 8 and number 10. If you have any questions, let me know.